How did you find the collaboration between us?
I really like the fact that on your proposal you prepare some visuals for me, and it was clear in my mind how you thought of it. The issue I had is that I started, and a month later, the developer said, I don't know how to do a project. I cannot proceed. So this took me back. It wasn't just a 1 month that was wasted.
Someone wants to get started with your application. What should they do?
So it's very simple. You just go into our website, FootballPlanner.eu.
Yeah.
You basically start with a 7-day free trial. Our goal is to be the best microcycle planning tool in the world.
Welcome, Rafael. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you for the invite.
Rafael, tell us a bit, let's start with your idea, okay? And then tell us a bit more, how did you come up with the idea?
So Football Planner is a web app, which is a tool for football practitioners to design their football microcycles, their weekly plans. And it helps to automate and optimize this process that coaches do on a weekly basis.
How did you come up with the idea to build Football Planner?
So I'm a sports scientist and a strength and conditioning coach myself. So it's a procedure that I used to do every week. At some point, I wanted to level up this procedure, and I wanted to shift from Excel as it was very time consuming. So I thought of shifting into an app. I searched around to find one. I couldn't find one, and then I decided to create my own software so I can help other practitioners as well to build.
Before you reached out to us, you said about AI. So, you've been trying to do something with AI, right? Correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So now that we have launched the app and we got more feedback, then the next step is to make this process even more automate, give even more educational resources to the coaches.
Okay. So people will be able to build things like weekly cycles, microcycles. Yeah, microcycles.
Yes.
Yeah. So they will be able to build microcycle using AI, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So the idea is that you will be able to have like an AI agent built into the app that you can give prompts to the agent, and you will get your microcycles ready. Obviously, depending on what you give to the agent, and you will be able to then edit and adjust based on your own philosophy.
Do you think this is going to speed up the process of building microcycles? Or?
Yeah, I think the software itself, without the AI, already make the process much faster, much more complete. And now we do take into consideration many other factors like recovery, warm-ups, and all this kind of stuff that previous templates didn't. And I think the addition of the AI will not just speed up the process, will also make it even more complete with inputs from different philosophies and stuff that may be outside of some coach's knowledge. So you will get more ideas, and it's like discussing with several coaches about your own constraints of your microcycle together. So it's not just about speed, it's also about making this process more advanced overall.
Okay. So with what the application has now, yes, okay, like if we take all the features that are available now as of December, how much time do you think a practitioner will save by using the app? Like for yourself, like how much time you were taking before and how much time you take now to solve this microcycle?
Yeah, so obviously there is no right or wrong answer to this. What I was doing before was mainly working on Excel, doing everything manual. Some other practitioners use pre-made templates, which can apply to some scenarios. In other scenarios, not so much. And again, you will have to build your own. But I will speak for myself. Once I created my daily templates into the app, I was able to accelerate the process a lot. Like now it takes me like maybe 2-3 minutes to build a microcycle, whereas before, if I wanted to build a really complete microcycle, it could take more than 30 minutes.
Okay, so more than 10 times technically
Yes,
you speed
yes.
up your. That's great. That's great. What else do you think? Like, first, let's go to the tool currently. Do you think it's very intuitive? You know, like how is it complex, or like if someone wants to start using your tool, would they find it difficult? Or?
I think if you play around with the software, it will take you maybe 5 minutes to get familiar and start building. So at this stage, it's super simple, and that was one of our main goals, to be like really user friendly and really easy to start building and creating without the need to have a training before you access the software.
Okay. And one aspect from here is the templates make everything a lot faster, right? Do you want to tell us a bit how, like, you have templates that are global templates and templates that each user can create their own, right?
Yeah. So in the software, you will find our templates, which are generic templates designed based on different training philosophies and different periodization types, like tactical periodization, the British model, and etc. But you also have the option to create your own daily templates with your specific constraints to use. And once you create or you choose to use our pre-made templates, then it's a drag and drop feature that you just, once you know what you need to create, you just put it into your microcycle, edit really quick all the small details, and then you have a microcycle ready to be exported.
Perfect. Is there anything else that you want to mention about the app that makes it simpler?
I think the biggest change is not just the speed, it's also that with the templates we provide and with our philosophy on creating microcycles, practitioners can now take into considerations other factors like recovery modalities that go along with this specific training day, the warm-up, readiness assessments, gym work, whereas the previous templates that you will find online, it's only about what happens in the main session, whereas our product is more holistic and it covers a broad range of modalities.
Perfect. So now I know we spoke a bit about the future of the application. So do you want to tell us a few things that you are thinking about bringing into the application? Like, what are the next steps?
Yeah. So our goal is to be the best microcycle planning tool in the world. Now we just released our basic MVP. So the goal is then to have more analytics into our microcycle. So you will be able to see how many, what percentages you have based on each training type, or maybe your tactical elements, how many defensive organization sessions, for example, you did in a month in comparison to attacking or transition. So any information that is related to a microcycle and the coach will be interested into will be able to see an overview either monthly or weekly. So when you go back to your data, you will be able to understand where the emphasis was during my planning, what actually happened when it was applied, and how I can adjust in the future. Also, we want to give the users the ability to go more in depth and more in detail. So the next step is not just the microcycle builder. We want to also add the feature of the daily sessions. So once you build your microcycle, you will be able to go into each day and add more details for all aspects that we do provide, for the readiness assessments, what is going to be included, for the gym work, more specific exercises, sets, reps, intensity, and all this kind of stuff. Details about the main session, more about the drills that we're going to be used, timing of each drill, maybe adding your own pictures or visuals or any animations you want to have. So we want to make our service more complete again and expand the capabilities of the software.
If someone wants to get started with your application, what should they do?
So it's very simple. You just go into our website. You start,
which is
FootballPlanner.eu.
Yeah.
And you basically start with a 7-day free trial. At the moment, we have a monthly and an annual version. You choose what fits to your needs, and after you finish your free trial, you then have access to the app, and that's pretty much it.
Simple. Let's talk about how our work together went. How did you find us? What made you choose to be all this stuff? I know that you've been looking for a company to do your software for some time, right? Like, how was your process of searching for a company?
Yeah, so to be honest, that was the most difficult part of the process until now. So I had this idea for a couple of years, and always my sticking point was the development team. I tried different things. I started with a developer from Fiverr. I thought it's a cheap and easy way to go for it. Now, the issue I had is that I started, and a month later, the developer said, I don't know how to do the project. I cannot proceed. So this took me back. It wasn't just the 1 month that was wasted. It was all the work before that, communication and everything. So I was very time consuming. Then I started reaching out to companies, both local in Cyprus and abroad. My main issue was that companies, they were asking for a lot of details when it came to the development, but my idea was to build and always adjust to what is needed for the app, what users need. So I wasn't able to, and I didn't want to give all the information from the start to the finish, because obviously a project changes based on the dynamics of the users and everything that goes along with that. Then I had several constraints with the timing. People were taking too long to build it. So I then met you, and I think you matched everything. I really like the fact that it was flexible, that you understand that I wanted to build an MVP first and then scale. Whereas most companies, they were asking for something to be from start to finish complete. They didn't understand the constraint that I have. Obviously, I want to launch fast, validate, and then move on, which for me, that was the most important stuff. And also the fact that I'm able to scale in any direction that I want now. It's really, really valuable. So, yes.
Did you think about this from the beginning, that you wanted to start with like the first thing, which was what we call MVP, right? So as you also said, or did this change throughout the time, and then you were like, okay, I don't want to build the whole thing from the beginning. I want to build like, did you like, you had a moment or someone told you like, don't build the whole thing?
Initially, the first maybe reach out that I did was like to create the whole thing. Obviously, it didn't work out. Again, many constraints, many things that I didn't know. Then I even tried to build it myself using AI tools and all this kind of stuff. But then obviously, as I learned more and more about softwares and what is the right methodology to go about it, I realized that I need to spend as much time as possible, make it as simple as possible, release an MVP and validate the idea and then build. So after some time, I realized that this is the goal and how I should go about it.
Cool. So you mentioned using AI to build the application. How did you find it? Did you start building something with AI and then what was the journey with the AI building the
Yeah, so I started initially, if you see online, everyone says it's very easy, it can be done very quick. But I think at least in my case, you need the support of a developer just to be secure, to be able to scale at some point. So for me, it wasn't an ideal experience. I'm not saying that it cannot be done, but I think in my case, having a team around me was game changing.
Okay, cool. And now let's talk a bit about the collaboration that we had, Roobley, with you. How did you find the collaboration between us? Like, was it what you were looking for, or basically how did we do?
Yeah, so I was very happy overall with the collaboration. For me, the most important thing was the fact that you understood that I want to launch an MVP and then progress with the software in any direction that was needed based on users. So for me, that was the most important thing, to understand the idea. And then also, I really like the fact that on your proposal, you prepare some visuals for me, and it was clear in my mind how you thought of it, and it was a really nice idea of how the software will work. So for me, even before we start, I was really positive and excited with the idea. So that was the first thing, that the proposal and overall the offer and understanding from Roobley was clear and aligned with my goals. And then obviously the execution was along with the same lines, moving fast, deliver my MVP, validate the idea, and then scale the idea depending on where we need to go.
So if you remember, we had a slight delay, right, of going live. How did you feel when this all happened and I had to tell you
Yeah, so I've been working in the software industry for the last 3-4 years in other projects as well. So I do have in my mind that delays are expected. Now, it's always frustrating when you have a delay, but at the end of the day, what it matters is the final product to be up to standard.
So for you, it was more important to get the product right than launching on time.
Yes. I mean, it's obviously a combination of both, but I think launching something that is underserving is harmful for the start.
Yeah, I guess. Anything else that you want to add? No,
you tell me.
No, I guess that's all. I have to say from our end as well, it's like a pleasure to work with you. For me, when I look for a client, when we were discussing, remember, and I am actually quite the opposite, because I don't want someone to come and tell me I want this project from start to end and this is how I want to build it, because I know that at the end of the day, there is like a 90% chance that it's not going to work, So for me, it's like when we were speaking, there was no, like they say, like red flags. It was all green flags, like about this MVP, so that you want to try and see the direction that it will take. So we also try to take projects like that, like we want the clients, customers to understand, the process, because you can't build one thing from start to the end and then, it will most probably like fail, or, because you don't know what the user needs. And it was very helpful for us that, you understood the whole process. And when I was explaining stuff, you were like, yeah, like I know this is like we need to build the MVP, MSP, and all this stuff. So it was very helpful, and I think we all enjoyed working on this project. And
yeah, that's also important for me, and that was another thing that get me into liking your company and wanted to work with you, as you really spend time to understand the validation process, like my wait list, how I get those people inside there. I even had somebody to tell me before that, why did you market the idea before building it? So I was like, but I wanted to validate the demand, and then obviously you spend time to understand the project, understand what it needed to be done. You understand that was something that it needed the demand. So I like that a lot. And many times, if I had any questions on that, you will give me your advice. So that was also really valuable.
Nice. I think that's all. Thank you very much for coming to our office. Yes, and let's see where the application goes. I'm very excited. We discussed a few things on what's coming, and I need to inform the team as well now, so they are aware of all this stuff. So I think it's quite exciting, and all the momentum that you have, which I'm not going to go in detail.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it goes really well until now. We are really happy with the users, like people like the idea. I think it was a tool that it was needed in the industry. And now the next step is to expand, make it better, be the best in the world on what we do, and service our users as much as we can.
Perfect. Nice.